Beyond Dreaming, a guide to awakening consciousness through the path of astral projection and out-of-body experiences by Jean Hart, Part 30, Transcending the Mind. Generally speaking, transcending the body is more straightforward than transcending the mind. This is because through the mind, we can observe that it can say, I have a body. Accordingly, the I that says it owns a body is implying separateness through its sense of ownership. So, through detaching from the body, you may feel like you own a body, but who are you? You do not own anything. Your body simply is, and so too with your mind. The significance to realize here is that the awareness and mind are not one and the same. The fact that we can also observe our mind implies that the observer of it is closer to the truer reality of ourselves. In meditation, there is the observer and the observed. We can see that we have a body. The same effect is true for our minds, but since the mind is something we cannot see physically, it is harder for us to grasp because of our non-physical attachment to the mind and its identifications. Imagine for a moment that a man creates a small advanced device that echoes everything he says. And not just that, but it records everything in his life like a video camera does. And he can play back scenes whenever he likes by simply willing it. On top of this, the device is so powerful, it can play back hundreds of images, sounds, and videos with infinite storage capacity. The man then attaches this device inside his head. As he goes about his day with this incredible and revolutionary tool, he enjoys being able to replay the scenes to study them in depth and is able to do many things at once. Others marvel at his newly found cleverness and praise him. The man loves his device so much, which has enabled him to analyze and create more things than anyone else. He loves his mind tool more than anything in the world. However, after many years of use, he becomes so absorbed in this tool that he forgets that he even created it. And not only that, but the tool becomes so dysfunctional and out of control that he cannot turn it off anymore. The device starts constantly playing multiple videos and images all at the same time. The man becomes overwhelmed and upset and cannot choose what videos to pay attention to anymore. Thus, he is no longer the controller of this tool and falls to the mercy of it. He falls below the level of the mind. He becomes depressed and solemn and falls victim to any sense perception presented by this mind tool that is running rampant. This leads to all sorts of physical and mental illnesses. Emotions are the reactions to our thoughts, and when we do not like or do not want specific thoughts because we lack control, we often develop negative emotions. In turn, developing negative feelings in our body, which give rise to disease. The emotions of ease is great medicine, not dis-ease. If the man is not careful and becomes too consumed by this tool, he may begin to not be able to identify the illusions of his mind tool from reality. This is when we call a person insane. The mind is a tool of reflection, the ability to recognize oneself and the world through a mirror. But the mind is so powerful that we unconsciously create many mirrors and mirrors within mirrors and mirrors battling against mirrors within us for power. The mirrors take a mind of their own and crave our attention. This is essentially the root of addiction and compulsion. This is what Buddhists call Maya, illusion, or delusion. This is the state of a large portion of humanity's mind today in varying degrees. If higher dimensional beings were to visit the earth and hear the general noise in the mental dimension of earth, they would hear so much suffering and excessive and unharmonious noise. The mind creates our reality, and this type of chaotic noise is reflected and manifested in our physical world in the form of endless television channels and the internet. The mind is a wonderful tool, a beautiful gift from creation that allows us to comprehend the mysteries of the universe through the facility of thought and reflection. But we must tame its power. Meditation not only means you do not contribute to this old dysfunctional way of thinking, but you also generate a space and help a new way of thinking for others. This may be hard to believe since it is something you cannot perceive physically, but physically, you generate a momentum of peace and stillness, no matter how small or subconscious its effects are. Today, as humanity becomes even more dysfunctional, uncertain, and spiritually lost, we are seeing many individuals and groups becoming more and more insane. However, amidst this craziness, more and more individuals are spontaneously breaking the barriers of the limited mind through intense suffering and seeking spiritual liberation as a result of this. This happens when a soul cannot tolerate any more suffering, and they suddenly surrender all their self-loathing and self-importance. However, don't let your mind trick you into thinking that intense suffering is an excuse or effective method to awakening your consciousness. You will only experience pain through this. In fact, you will learn far more soberly and intelligently by doing the work daily and meditating with conscious effort. And not only that, but you will help others along the way.
We either make ourselves miserable or we make ourselves stronger. The amount of work is the same. Don Juan Matus, Carlos Castaneda.